Imagine standing in front of a mirror and really seeing yourself. Not your flaws, not your mistakes, not the things others said about you, but you. The real, raw, beautiful version of you that's been buried under years of comparison, judgment, and self-doubt. Most people never meet that version of themselves because they spend their entire lives trying to please others, trying to fit in, trying to be loved, all while forgetting the most important person they need to love first, themselves. We live in a world that constantly tells us we're not enough. From childhood, we're taught to chase approval. We study hard to make our parents proud. We dress a certain way to look good for society. We talk, walk, and behave in ways that will make others like us. But in the process, we forget that the foundation of real happiness and confidence comes from self-love. Without it, everything we do becomes an endless chase, and we never feel truly complete. So, my friend, before you look for love, validation, or respect from anyone else, learn to give it to yourself. Because when you love yourself first, everything in life changes. Your relationships, your mindset, your peace, and your entire energy. This is not selfishness. This is survival. Loving yourself is the foundation on which every other kind of love is built. Let's explore what it really means to love yourself first and how doing so can change your life forever. Part 1. The Empty Cup. Why you can't pour love without self-love. Have you ever heard the saying, "You can't pour from an empty cup"? It's simple, yet one of the most powerful truths you'll ever hear. Many people spend their whole lives trying to fill others' cups, giving love, energy, and attention to everyone around them, while their own cup stays completely empty. They work hard to please others, to keep relationships alive, to make sure everyone else feels loved and supported. But in doing so, they slowly forget the most important person who also needs care themselves. When you keep giving love without ever receiving it from yourself, you eventually feel drained. You start waking up tired, even after sleeping. You feel unappreciated, even when you're surrounded by people. You start feeling invisible, like no one really sees or understands you. And here's the truth. It's not that the world stopped loving you. It's that you stopped loving yourself. You can't give what you no longer have, just like a candle cannot light another if it's burned out. A heart that has forgotten self-love cannot keep shining for others. When you don't love yourself, you begin to rely on others to fill that empty space inside you. You start believing that someone else will complete you, fix you, or make you feel worthy. So, you attach your happiness to them, to their words, their attention, their validation. When they praise you, you feel high. When they ignore you, you feel worthless. You start living like a puppet, controlled by the approval of others. But no matter how much they love you, it will never be enough to fill the emptiness you refuse to fill yourself. Because people can love you deeply, but they can't heal the relationship you have with your own soul. Self-love is not selfish. It's not arrogance. It's not thinking you're better than others. Self-love means becoming your own source of light. It means learning how to validate yourself when no one else does. It means saying, "I am proud of myself, even if no one claps for me." It's about being your own biggest supporter, instead of your harshest critic. When you love yourself, you stop waiting for the world to tell you that you matter, because you already know that you do. You stop begging others for attention, because you already give yourself respect. You stop chasing people who don't value you, because you value yourself too much to be treated poorly. That is what it means to pour love from a full cup. Think of it this way: when you love yourself, every other kind of love in your life becomes stronger. You become a better friend, partner, parent, or professional because you are no longer running on empty. You're giving from abundance, not exhaustion. You don't need to control others because you're not afraid of losing love. You don't demand perfection because you've already accepted your own imperfections. That kind of self-assured peace makes you magnetic. It attracts respect, kindness, and genuine love from others, the kind that doesn't depend on fear or need. And remember, loving yourself doesn't mean ignoring your flaws. It means seeing them, acknowledging them, and still choosing to treat yourself with compassion. It's easy to love yourself on the days you feel confident and successful. But the real test of self-love comes when you fail, when you fall short, when you feel broken. In those moments, loving yourself means standing by your own side and saying, I'm still enough. I'm still worthy. I will keep going. You don't have to be flawless to be worthy of love. You just have to be real honest with yourself, kind to yourself, and open to growth. That's where real love begins, not in perfection, but in truth. So, before you try to make everyone else happy, pause and ask yourself, is my own cup full? Because you cannot keep giving if you have nothing left inside. Fill your cup first with peace, with patience, with forgiveness, and with self-respect. Only then can your love overflow and reach others in a way that is pure, powerful, and endless. That's the secret of real love. It begins not with another person, but within you. Part 2. The lies you tell yourself. The greatest enemy of self-love is not the world outside you. It's the voice that lives inside your head. That quiet, sneaky, and constant whisper that says, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You'll never make it. It's that voice that criticizes you when you make mistakes, compares you to others, and reminds you of every failure you've ever had. But here's the thing, that voice isn't the real you. It's a collection of words, experiences, and judgments you've absorbed from the world around you. Over the years, you've taken other people's opinions and turned them into your truth. Maybe it started with a careless comment from a teacher who said you'd never succeed. Or maybe it came from a parent who compared you to someone better. Maybe it came from a friend who made fun of your looks, your accent, or your dreams. You laughed it off at the time, but those words stuck to you like invisible scars. And now, every time you try to believe in yourself, those old voices echo again, holding you back, making you doubt your worth. But here's the powerful truth. Every negative belief you have about yourself was learned. You weren't born thinking you're not enough. Look at any child, they dance, they sing. They express themselves without hesitation. They don't care how they look, what people think, or whether they're perfect. They love themselves naturally. That pure confidence, that fearless energy, that open heart. That's your true self. You were like that once. You just forgot it because the world told you to be someone else. You see, as we grow, we start wearing masks. Masks of acceptance, masks of perfection, masks of approval. We start playing roles to please others, and in doing so, we lose touch with our real identity. The lies we tell ourselves, I'm not attractive, I'm too weak, I'll never change, are not reality. They are stories your mind keeps repeating because it has heard them for too long. But here's where healing begins. The moment you start questioning those lies, the moment you pause and say, wait, who told me that? You begin to separate your true self from the noise. You realize that not every thought in your mind deserves to be believed. Your thoughts are powerful, but they are not always truthful. If you tell yourself every day that you are not enough, your actions will match that belief. You hesitate to take risks. You'll settle for less than you deserve. You'll attract people who treat you the same way you treat yourself. But when you begin to speak differently, when you start saying, I deserve love, I am capable, I am growing, your life begins to change. Your energy shifts. You start walking differently, talking differently, and thinking differently. Remember, your mind believes what you repeat. So, stop repeating the old story of your pain. Start writing a new one, a story of strength, of healing, of self-respect. You have the power to reprogram your thoughts. Every time that inner critic speaks, answer it with kindness. Replace I can't with I can learn. Replace I'm not enough with I'm improving every day. The world always reflects how you see yourself. If you see yourself as broken, you'll attract people who see you that way. But when you see yourself as valuable, you'll attract love, respect, and opportunities that match your energy. So, my friend, silence that voice that lies to you. It has kept you small for too long. Speak truth instead. Speak love, because once you start believing in your own worth, the whole universe begins to agree with you. Part 3. How to build a relationship with yourself. You spend time with so many people every single day. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, your classmates. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, how often do you truly spend time with yourself? Most people don't realize that the most important relationship they will ever have in life is the one they have with themselves. Every other connection, your friendships, your love life, your career, is built on how you feel inside. If your relationship with yourself is weak, everything else in life feels unstable. But when it's strong, you walk through the world with peace, clarity, and confidence. Loving yourself means treating yourself the same way you would treat someone you deeply care about. You wouldn't constantly criticize someone you love. You wouldn't overwork them, ignore their needs, or push them to exhaustion. You'd encourage them, protect them, and remind them that they deserve the best. So, why not do the same for yourself? Building a loving relationship with yourself doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of patience, awareness, and daily practice. Here's how to start nurturing that bond. Spend time alone. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's a sacred meeting with your own soul. Most people fear being alone because silence makes them face their thoughts, their pain, and their truth. But that's where healing begins, in the quiet moments, when no one else's voice is drowning out your own. Take time each day to be by yourself, even for a few minutes. Go for a walk without your phone. Sit under the sky and breathe. Write down your feelings in a notebook. Ask yourself honest questions. How am I really feeling? What do I need right now? When you spend time alone, you begin to understand your emotions instead of running from them. You learn what truly makes you happy and what drains you. You stop being afraid of your own company. You realize that peace doesn't come from others, it comes from within. When you start enjoying your own presence, you no longer depend on others to make you feel complete. That's when you discover real emotional strength. 2. Speak to yourself with kindness. If you spoke to your best friend the way you speak to yourself, would they still like you? Most people say things to themselves they would never say to anyone else. They call themselves lazy, stupid, or worthless whenever they fail. But words have power, and your inner dialogue shapes your reality. Every time you insult yourself, you weaken your self esteem. Every time you speak with kindness, you build it. Start noticing the way you talk to yourself. When you catch that inner critic whispering negativity, pause and correct it. Instead of saying, I'm such a failure, say, I didn't do my best today, but I can try again tomorrow. Instead of, I'm not good enough, say, I'm improving every day. This is not lying to yourself, it's showing compassion. Real love is gentle, but honest. Be your own encourager. Be your own safe place. 3. Set boundaries. Boundaries are one of the highest forms of self-respect. Loving yourself means protecting your peace. You don't owe everyone your time, attention, or energy. If someone constantly disrespects you or drains you, you have the right to step back. Boundaries are not about being rude. They're about recognizing your limits. Think of them as doors. They let in what nourishes you and keep out what harms you. Don't feel guilty for saying no. You're not selfish for choosing peace over chaos. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. When you set boundaries, you're sending a message. I respect myself. And guess what? People who truly care about you will respect your limits too. Those who don't were never meant to stay. 4. Take care of your body. Your body is not just a machine, it's the home of your soul. How you treat it affects how you feel about yourself. When you eat nutritious food, get enough sleep, and move your body, you're not just staying healthy, you're telling yourself, I matter. On the other hand, when you neglect your body, you send the opposite message that you don't deserve care. So, listen to what your body needs. Rest when you're tired. Drink water. Stretch. Take deep breaths. Do things that make you feel alive. Whether it's dancing, exercising, or simply walking in nature. Remember, self-love isn't just mental or emotional, it's physical too. When your body feels good, your mind follows. 5. Celebrate your small wins. We often wait for big moments, a promotion, a relationship, a major goal to feel proud of ourselves. But life isn't built on grand achievements. It's built on small, consistent steps. Celebrate yourself for every tiny victory. Woke up early today. Great job. Finish the task you've been avoiding. Celebrate it. Chose to stay calm instead of reacting in anger. That's progress. Every small win is proof that you're growing, evolving, and becoming stronger. The more you celebrate yourself, the more confident you become. Gratitude and self recognition are powerful motivators. They remind you that even though you're not where you want to be yet, you're moving forward, and that's something to be proud of. Part 4. The danger of depending on others for love. Many people believe that the right person will finally complete them. They think, once I find someone who truly loves me, all my pain will disappear. But this belief is a dangerous illusion. Depending on others for love may feel comforting in the beginning, but in the long run, it leaves you powerless. Because when your happiness depends on someone else, your peace will always be at risk. The truth is, no one can feel the emptiness you feel inside. No one can permanently heal your insecurities or erase your self doubt. When you look to others to make you feel loved, you place an impossible burden on them. People can support you, care for you, and inspire you, but they cannot complete you. That's your job. When you forget that, you start to lose control over your emotional life. You start chasing people who don't value you, begging for the smallest amount of attention, and tolerating behavior that hurts you deeply, all because you're terrified of being alone. Love that comes from fear is not love, it's dependency. When your love is rooted in fear, it becomes unhealthy. You fear being abandoned, so you stay even when you're unhappy. You fear being rejected, so you pretend to be someone you're not. You fear being alone, so you accept disrespect as normal. But love that grows from fear is not love, it's dependency. It's a way of saying, I can't live without you, instead of, I choose to share my life with you. Real love should never feel like a prison. It should give you freedom, not take it away. When you rely too much on others to validate you, your emotional state becomes unstable. One compliment lifts you up, one criticism destroys you. You begin to believe that your worth is something others get to decide. That's why so many people lose themselves in relationships. They stop knowing who they are outside of that connection. But when the relationship ends, they feel empty and lost because they had built their identity on someone else's affection. Two complete people create healthy love. Healthy relationships are not made of two broken people trying to fix each other. They are made of two complete people who choose to walk together, not because they need to, but because they want to. When you love yourself first, you stop begging for attention. You stop accepting half love and empty promises. You stop trying to prove that you are worthy of love because you already know you are. You no longer settle for being almost enough. You realize that love is something you share, not something you chase. Loving yourself first is real power. Loving yourself first doesn't mean you shut people out or become cold. It means you stop depending on them for your sense of identity. You stop expecting them to fix wounds they didn't create. You learn to give yourself the love, respect, and patience you used to demand from others. Then, when someone enters your life, they are not completing you, they are adding to you. You choose love out of strength, not loneliness. That's real power. When you can stand alone and still feel whole, when you can enjoy your own company and feel at peace within yourself. Because the moment you realize that your happiness starts and ends with you, no one can take it away. Part 5. Forgive yourself. The key to freedom. Every one of us carries invisible scars, words we wish we hadn't said, choices we regret, and moments we wish we could redo. These memories often replay in our minds like an endless movie, trapping us in guilt and shame. We carry them into every new chapter of our lives, believing we don't deserve peace or happiness because of what we've done in the past. But the truth is, you cannot move forward until you forgive yourself. You cannot truly love yourself while holding yourself hostage to yesterday's mistakes. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean pretending your mistakes never happened. It means facing them with compassion instead of judgment. It means understanding that, at that time, you were doing the best you could with what you knew. You were learning, surviving, and trying to find your way. Maybe you said the wrong thing, trusted the wrong person, or made a decision that hurt you or someone else. But that doesn't mean you are beyond redemption. Mistakes are part of being human. Growth comes not from perfection, but from reflection. Too often, we are kinder to others than we are to ourselves. When someone we love makes a mistake, we tell them, "It's okay, you're human." But when it's our turn, we say, "How could I be so stupid?" This double standard keeps us trapped in pain. You deserve the same compassion you give to others. You deserve to look at yourself and say, "Yes, I made a mistake, but I'm still worthy of love." That is what true forgiveness looks like. Accepting your humanness without letting shame define who you are. Forgiving yourself also means releasing the need to control the past. You cannot go back and change what happened, no matter how much you wish you could. But you can change what you do now. You can take responsibility, make amends where possible, and use your experiences as lessons instead of weapons against yourself. Every mistake carries a message about patience, awareness, courage, or self-respect. Once you learn the lesson, the pain starts to lose its power over you. Holding on to guilt doesn't make you a better person. It only keeps you stuck. Guilt may remind you of your mistakes, but forgiveness reminds you of your strength. When you forgive yourself, you create emotional freedom. You stop fighting with your own heart. You stop seeing yourself as broken. And when that inner war ends, peace takes its place. Remember, forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice of releasing self-blame and choosing love instead. Some days, you may still feel the weight of your past, but keep reminding yourself, "I did the best I could. I am still growing. I am still worthy." When you release guilt, you make space for healing. You become your own ally instead of your own enemy. That's when real love begins to flow. The kind of love that is gentle, patient, and unconditional. Because forgiving yourself is not just about letting go of the past. It's about opening the door to your future. A future built on peace, acceptance, and freedom. Part 6. Becoming your own source of happiness. Most people spend their entire lives chasing happiness, like it's a prize waiting at the end of a race. They say, I'll be happy when I get that job, when I find love, when I make more money, when everything finally goes right. But the truth is, that day never really comes, because every time you reach one goal, another condition appears. You keep postponing your happiness, tying it to something outside of you. The result? You keep running, but you never feel fulfilled. Real happiness isn't something you find, it's something you create from within. When you learn to love yourself, you stop chasing happiness in people, things, and achievements. You begin to see joy in ordinary moments, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the calm of early morning silence, the laughter you share with a friend, or the peace of simply being alone with your thoughts. These moments are small, but they carry true contentment. Happiness is not built on big events, it's built on small acts of awareness and appreciation. The problem is, we often confuse excitement with happiness. Getting a new phone, a promotion, or a compliment gives you a temporary boost, but that feeling fades. Then you start looking for the next thing to fill the emptiness. That's because happiness based on external things is fragile. The moment those things change or disappear, your mood collapses with them. But when your happiness comes from within, from gratitude, self respect, and inner peace, it becomes unshakable. No one can take it away. Becoming your own source of happiness means learning to be kind to yourself, especially when life gets tough. It's easy to love yourself when things are going well, but the real test is when you fail, when you're rejected, when plans fall apart. In those moments, most people turn against themselves. They criticize, blame, and lose faith. But if you can stand beside yourself through the storms, if you can say, it's okay, I'm still trying, I'm still worthy, then you've found real love. That is what self happiness looks like, unconditional support from within. It also means letting go of perfection. Many people can't be happy because they think they're not there yet, not successful enough, not attractive enough, not smart enough. But happiness doesn't wait for perfection. It begins the moment you accept yourself as you are. When you stop trying to fix everything and start appreciating what's already good in your life, peace naturally follows. Every breath, every sunrise, every small victory is a reason to smile. Gratitude is one of the purest forms of self love. When you start saying thank you for what you already have, your body, your health, your experiences, your growth, you begin to see life as a gift, not a burden. That shift changes everything. The more you focus on what's working, the more happiness grows inside you. My friend, happiness is not a reward for perfection. It's a result of connection. The moment you start connecting deeply with yourself, nurturing your soul, and treating your life as something sacred, you stop searching for happiness outside. You realize it was always within you, waiting to be noticed. You deserve to feel good about yourself, not someday when everything is perfect, but today, right here, as you are. Part 7. How self-love changes everything. When you begin to truly love yourself, you start to notice subtle shifts in your life that grow into profound transformation. Self-love is not just a feeling, it's a force that changes how you see yourself, how you interact with others, and how the world responds to you. Suddenly, people who once disrespected you no longer have power over your emotions. Their words no longer cut as deeply because you have built a foundation of self-respect that cannot be shaken. You stop tolerating behavior that diminishes you, and in doing so, you raise your personal standards. One of the most powerful changes self love brings is freedom from comparison. You no longer measure your life against someone else's highlight reel. You begin to understand that your journey is unique, filled with lessons, timing, and experiences that belong to you alone. When you embrace your own path, you free yourself from envy, jealousy, and the constant pressure to keep up. This freedom allows you to focus on your growth, celebrate your progress, and appreciate the blessings already present in your life. Self love also transforms the relationships you attract. When you respect yourself, you naturally draw people who treat you with respect. You attract friends who lift you, partners who value you, and colleagues who appreciate your contributions. Life feels lighter and more harmonious because your energy sets a tone for the interactions you experience. You no longer accept less than you deserve because you know your worth. Your energy itself changes when you love yourself. You walk with a quiet confidence that is not loud or arrogant, but steady and unshakable. You speak with clarity and intention because you know your voice matters. You think differently too. Instead of doubting your every move, you approach challenges with trust in your abilities. This inner shift does not make life without problems, but it gives you the strength to face them without losing yourself. Self love is the key to living authentically. When you stop chasing validation from others, you begin to make decisions based on what truly aligns with your values and desires. You stop bending to fit into molds that were never yours to begin with. Instead, you embrace your quirks, your flaws, and your strengths, and you present your true self to the world. This authenticity attracts people and opportunities that resonate with your energy, making life richer and more meaningful. Life will still have challenges, disappointments, and moments of uncertainty, but self love gives you the anchor to navigate these storms with resilience. It's not about being perfect. No one is but about being whole. Wholeness comes from acceptance, compassion, and a deep understanding that you are enough exactly as you are. When you make self love a priority, everything changes your mind, your heart, your relationships, and even the way the world perceives you. It is the foundation on which confidence, peace, and fulfillment are built. Once you embrace yourself fully, you will realize that the life you've been searching for has been available all along, waiting for you to step into it with love at your center. Final words: love yourself like your life depends on it. My friend, if there is one lesson you must carry with you through life, it is this: you are the longest commitment you will ever make. People will come and go. Circumstances will shift. Opportunities may rise and fall. But you, your heart, your mind, your soul, will always be with you. That relationship deserves your attention, care, and dedication. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for every other connection in your life. When you choose to love yourself first, everything changes. You stop chasing love because you realize it already exists within you. You stop doubting your worth because you know that being yourself is enough. You stop apologizing for your existence and start celebrating it instead. Life feels lighter, more purposeful, and filled with clarity because your foundation is built on self respect and inner peace. On my channel, we always emphasize that self love is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It is the secret that allows you to show up fully in life and step into your true potential. Remember this: you are not behind, and you are not broken. Every scar, every mistake, every tear has shaped you into the person you are becoming. Someone resilient, capable, and powerful. Life is not a race, it is a process of unfolding. Your journey is unique, and every experience, no matter how painful, is preparing you for the person you are meant to be. So stand tall. Look at yourself in the mirror. Take a deep breath and say it aloud. I am enough. I am worthy. I am love. Say it until you believe it. Because the moment you truly love yourself, the world begins to reflect that love back to you. This time, however, you will not need it to feel complete.